Joining me now is Phil Levy of the Chicago Council on Global Affairs, here to talk about the shape of the economy now and what we can expect under a Trump presidency. So great time to have you on the show.
Thank you. It's always good to be here.
I know that your organization has a very vested interest in all of this because you are very pro-trade, and that is not the stance that we've heard from President-elect Trump on the campaign trail. So what do you think we're in for here, and what are you hearing from some of your clients maybe overseas?
Well, I think you're quite right. We do have a vested interest in sort of promoting an open global order. That's part of the founding of the Chicago Council. There's a huge amount of uncertainty. We don't know. You're absolutely right. The campaign rhetoric was pretty alarming in terms of what was going to happen with trade. On the other hand, you notice that some of the first moves that President-elect Trump made were to invite the British Prime Minister for a get-together and to get together with the Japanese.
Do you think there'll be some backpedaling from what he talked about on the campaign trail to how he'll really perform as president?
Oh, I think they might spin it as reevaluation. But yes, backpedaling.
Now, are you counting on this? Are people...
No, I think there's an enormous uncertainty. Things could go well or they could go poorly, and it's hard to remember a time when we were as uncertain as this.
What will this mean for trade if President-elect Trump does go along with what he says and he wants to move jobs back to the United States? But as you know, a lot of people overseas could be very troubled by this, especially the Chinese and people in a lot of other governments.
Well, the Chinese will be reasonably happy if we withdraw because they'll fill the space. The people who will be very upset are our allies and those with whom we have close trading relationships. And in a world of tightly integrated supply chains, it could be very, very damaging.
What will this mean for the average consumer, do you think? Should people start to brace for changes or get ready to go out and find a new job?
I think it's a little bit early for that. It remains to be seen. We're going to have to see how President-elect Trump works with the Congress, which kinds of people he puts in key positions. That's the thing you want to be watching in the next week or two.
Absolutely.
And how those promises from a campaign trail translate into actual policy.
How do you think the economy looks for him coming in? What is he walking into, do you think?
The U.S. economy has been doing reasonably well, certainly compared to a lot of its friendly countries around the world. The markets seem to have taken this as a positive signal. You see long-term interest rates rising, usually an expectation that we're going to have faster growth. And some of his platform is having to do with things like business-friendly tax cuts. Many analysts, as they're looking at this, are trying to weigh those two things against each other. The trade stuff could be very damaging. The tax cuts could be kind of encouraging. What's the package going to look like in the end?
Exactly. Well, that's what we want to know from you, though. You say damaging, but damaging how? What could potentially happen here?
Oh, you've had places like the Peterson Institute game this out and talk about many thousands of jobs lost if you launch into a full-fledged trade war.
In the United States?
Jobs lost in the United States.
How so?
Because when you think about production in the United States, it's not usually that a good is made start to finish here. It's that we import parts, we export parts, there's supply chains that are integrated throughout. If you disrupt those, factories can shut down.
They shut down, but eventually don't they reopen if American workers are back on those lines again?
Not necessarily if you have damaged the global trading system. That people may decide, on balance, is better to produce elsewhere. 95% of the world's consumers are outside the United States, and we're not always the cheapest place to produce. So often, where we can produce effectively, it's because we got some cheap parts that we combine with American know-how.
Well, we will be watching, and we'll count on you for another update.
Forward to it.